What if the very thing you believe is helping your baby at night is actually the reason they keep waking up? And what if a simple shift in how you respond, just a few minutes of timing, could dramatically reduce those night wakings without ignoring your child or letting them cry endlessly? If you've been searching for a gentle way to help your baby sleep longer stretches, what you're about to hear may completely change how you understand those middle-of-the-night wake-ups. At first, the idea sounds almost impossible. When a baby cries at night, every instinct a parent has fires instantly. You want to go to them right away, pick them up, rock them gently, offer a feeding, whisper soothing words, anything that helps the crying stop. And naturally, that's exactly what most parents do. It's loving, it's protective, it's the most natural reaction in the world. But here's something that many parents never realize. Sometimes, the exact moment you step into the room to comfort your baby is the moment their brain was already preparing to drift back into sleep. So the real problem may not be that your baby is incapable of sleeping through the night. The real issue might simply be timing. Once you understand the nervous system pattern behind night waking, the whole situation begins to make sense. And more importantly, it becomes clear how to improve those wake-ups in a way that still feels responsive and supportive. But before getting into the solution, it's important to talk about something many parents quietly struggle with: what sleep deprivation actually does to a person. People often joke about being tired after having a baby. Friends laugh about it. Family members tell stories about sleepless nights like it's just part of the parenting experience. But true sleep deprivation isn't funny. It's waking up in the morning already exhausted before the day even begins. It's walking through the day feeling like your mind is wrapped in fog. Simple things you normally remember suddenly slip away. You lose track of thoughts mid-sentence. You feel irritated over tiny things and then feel guilty moments later for reacting that way. Sometimes the feeling becomes even stranger than that. You might finally sit down during a quiet moment in the afternoon and notice something unexpected. Instead of feeling relief or happiness, you just feel blank. Not sad exactly, just emotionally drained in a way that's hard to describe. None of this changes how much you love your baby. That love never disappears. But somewhere around the fourth or fifth wake-up during the night, a small question sneaks into your mind that you never expected to ask. Am I doing something wrong? You begin replaying everything. Maybe bedtime is off. Maybe naps are too long or too short. Maybe the room temperature isn't right. Maybe the swaddle you stopped using was actually helping more than you thought. Maybe the white noise machine should be louder or quieter. Instead of sleeping between wake-ups, your brain starts trying to solve a problem when what your body really needs is rest. But here's something worth remembering. You are not failing, and there is nothing wrong with your baby. Most of the time, what's actually off is simply the timing. When that timing shifts even a little, nights can begin to look very different. If you're here listening to this, chances are you've already tried many things to fix the situation. You may have tried rocking your baby longer at bedtime, hoping deeper sleep would last longer. Maybe you've stayed in the room an extra 10 minutes just to make absolutely sure they're asleep. You've probably perfected the slowest crib transfer imaginable, lowering your baby down so gently that it feels like performing a delicate science experiment. And somehow, despite all that care, the moment their back touches the mattress, their eyes pop open again. Night feedings become another part of the cycle. Eventually, many parents start offering milk every time their baby wakes up, even when they're not sure hunger is the real reason. Feeding works quickly after all. It quiets them down and often gets them back to sleep. But then the next wake-up happens half an hour later, and now it's hard to know if the feeding helped or simply delayed the problem. And eventually, there's a moment most exhausted parents recognize. It's around 3 in the morning. You've already been up several times. Your baby wakes again. So you bring them into your bed, not because it was part of your original plan, not because you spent weeks researching it, but simply because you needed to survive the night. In that moment, it feels like the right solution, but then it happens again the next night, and the night after that. Before long, a new routine quietly forms. None of this happens because you're doing something wrong. It happens because your instincts are strong and immediate. Responding quickly to a baby's cry is protective and loving. The instinct itself is not the issue. The timing of that response is where the cycle can begin. Here's what is often happening during those night wakings. When babies make noise at night, they aren't always fully awake. In many cases, they're experiencing what sleep researchers call a partial arousal. This is a moment when the brain moves between sleep cycles. It can look like waking up, but neurologically, it isn't quite the same thing. Your baby might fuss or shift in their crib, they might make small cries or restless noises, but their brain may already be on their way back towards sleep. Think about your own sleep. You might wake briefly, adjust your pillow, glance at the clock, and then fall asleep again without even remembering it the next morning. That's a sleep cycle transition. Adults go through these transitions several times every night. Babies experience them even more frequently. Adult sleep cycles usually last about 90 minutes. A baby's sleep cycle is shorter, often around 40 to 50 minutes. At the end of each cycle, the brain rises into a lighter stage of sleep before dropping back down again. For adults, this moment usually passes quietly. For babies, it can be noisy. They might grunt, move around, or cry briefly. Through a baby monitor, those sounds can feel urgent and alarming. So naturally, parents rush in to help. But when you enter the room during that partial arousal, something important happens. You introduce stimulation. The hallway light spills into the room. The door opens. Your baby hears movement. They feel your touch or hear your voice. Their nervous system immediately notices the change. Instead of finishing the transition back into sleep, their brain shifts into full alertness. A baby who was almost asleep again becomes completely awake. Now they truly need help settling again. If this pattern repeats night after night, something else begins to form. Your baby's brain starts connecting the sequence. Wake up, parent appears, comfort follows. Eventually, the waking itself becomes tied to that expectation. But there's another side to this wiring. Just as babies can learn to rely on help to fall asleep again, they can also learn to self-resettle. Self-resettling is not a mysterious ability some babies are born with and others lack. It's a skill. And like any skill, it develops through practice. But practice requires a small amount of space, just enough time for the nervous system to finish what it already started. Before trying this approach, though, it's important to know when it applies. Your baby should already be fed and comfortable. Their diaper should be clean. They should be sleeping in a safe environment. They also shouldn't be missing something they rely on to fall asleep. For example, if they always sleep with a pacifier and it has fallen out of the crib, waiting won't magically put it back. With those basics covered, this approach tends to work best for babies between about 4 months and 18 months. Around 4 months, a major developmental change occurs. A baby's circadian rhythm matures and their sleep cycles permanently shift. This is the stage many parents recognize as the 4-month sleep regression. But that same developmental change also gives babies the neurological ability to begin practicing independent resettling. Before that stage, frequent feeding and immediate response are still essential. This technique also shouldn't be used if a baby is sick, teething severely, or experiencing genuine distress. Parents know their baby better than anyone else, and that instinct should always guide decisions. Within those boundaries, there's a simple method known as the 5-minute sleep reset window. Despite the name, it isn't about ignoring your baby. It isn't about letting them cry endlessly. It's simply a short observation period that allows your baby's nervous system time to finish the settling process it may have already started. Instead of reacting instantly to the first sound, you pause. When you hear your baby stir, you listen. During the first minute, you simply observe the sound of the cry. Is it soft and rhythmic, almost like sleepy complaining? Or is it growing sharper and louder? Between the first and third minute, you continue listening for patterns. If the sounds begin fading and the pauses between cries grow longer, that usually means your baby is settling. If the cries become louder and more urgent, that's your signal to go in right away. If 3 minutes pass and the baby hasn't settled, you calmly enter the room. The environment stays dim. Movements remain slow and quiet. You offer brief reassurance, maybe a soft whisper, maybe resting your hand gently on their chest. You try to avoid picking them up unless it's clearly necessary. The goal isn't to restart the entire soothing routine, it's simply to remind your baby you're nearby while keeping stimulation minimal. After about half a minute to a minute, you step back again and observe one final minute. Sometimes that small moment of reassurance is all the nervous system needed. If the baby begins calming again, you allow the process to continue. If the crying escalates, you comfort them fully. Rock them, feed them if needed, or provide whatever comfort they require. The difference is that you're now responding with awareness rather than automatic reaction. Over the first few nights, something interesting often happens. On night 1, waiting even 60 seconds can feel extremely difficult. Your instincts will urge you to move immediately. On the second or third night, something called an extinction burst may appear. Fussiness briefly increases as the brain tests whether the old pattern still works. This phase is temporary. Then the shift begins. Around the fourth night, you might hear a wake-up begin the same way as always. You pause. 1 minute passes, the crying continues. 2 minutes pass, it softens slightly. 3 minutes pass, and suddenly, there is silence. A wake-up that once required 20 minutes of rocking ends in just a few minutes. By the fifth night, the sounds may become shorter and quieter. Sometimes they stop before you even reach the door. By the second week, your baby may still transition between sleep cycles, but they resettle before you even wake fully. Eventually, you start sleeping through those transitions too. And the first morning you wake up feeling even a little rested again, it feels almost unbelievable. The fog begins lifting. You walk into your baby's room, and instead of feeling dread about the day ahead, you feel something you haven't felt in a while. Energy, maybe even joy. Some parents worry that this method sounds like cry-it-out training, but there is an important difference. Cry-it-out methods typically involve leaving a baby alone for extended periods. The reset window is the opposite. You are observing the entire time. You are responding whenever your baby truly needs you. You are never ignoring them. You are simply adjusting the timing so their nervous system has the chance to complete its natural settling process. Research on sleep cycle transitions suggests that brief, structured pauses often reduce the overall amount of crying compared to immediate intervention every time. Allowing the brain to finish that process often leads to calmer nights overall. There are still situations where it won't work well. If your baby goes to bed extremely overtired, their nervous system may already be too overstimulated to resettle easily. Bedtime timing and consistent naps matter more than most parents realize. Developmental leaps can also disrupt sleep temporarily. Learning new skills like crawling, standing, or language development can fragment sleep for a while. This isn't failure, it's growth. Illness and teething are also times to pause the approach entirely. Comfort always comes first. When bedtime routines support calm, dim lights, predictable steps, quiet surroundings, the nervous system enters sleep in a more regulated state, and that makes resettling much easier. As babies develop this ability, the benefits reach far beyond longer sleep stretches. Night wakings become shorter. The house becomes quieter. Parents regain patience and emotional energy during the day. But perhaps the biggest shift happens inside you. You stop feeling like the exhausted parent searching for answers. Instead, you realize you've been helping your baby develop one of the most important lifelong abilities they'll ever learn: the ability to find their way back to rest. And once that skill begins to take hold, the nights slowly transform from something you dread into something peaceful again.